Via TV, True FM.
Say Via TV, True FM.
On Via TV,
into True FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Wakala, if you don't organize yourself in a grateful manner, we'll take your plate like
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
News Summary of 12. My name is Hansen there represent. Welcome to News and Analysis 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and our one world. Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange.
And welcome to RCA News, a bulletin at 7. My name is Olivia Bowen. Presenting this news program is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited. Stories topping the headlines. The National Civil Society Union of Liberia has welcomed the nomination of Criminal Court Judge Siane Clinton Johnson as Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of Liberia. The Center for National Documents and Records Agency says it has raised $134,000 United States dollars in the past 6 months. Agriculture Minister Dr. Elizanta Newton has underscored the need to empower policymakers on responsible investment in the agriculture sector. And away from Liberia, the BBC says Uganda is backing M23 rebels fighting across its border in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. UN experts say warning that a rapidly escalating crisis carried the risk of triggering a wider regional conflict. Those were the headlines. Now the news in detail. The National Civil Society Union of Liberia has welcomed the nomination of Criminal Court Judge Siane Clinton Johnson as Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of Liberia. Judge Clinton Johnson was recently nominated by President Bouaka as Associate Justice of the High Court to replace the late Associate Justice Joseph Nagwe. NAXU, in a press release Tuesday, termed the nomination of Judge Clinton Johnson as the right direction, judging from her qualification and experience in the Liberian justice system. Some civil society organizations, following her nomination by the president, took onto some media platforms requesting the president to revoke Judge Siane Clinton Johnson's nomination as Associate Justice. They alleged that the nominee as Associate Justice will undermine the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Squad because she is married to former Justice Minister during the regime of ex-President Charles Taylor. But the National Civil Society Union of Liberia, in reaction, called on the civil society organizations to contemplate on the long-term experience and qualifications of Judge Clinton Johnson rather than basing their argument on travel matter. Meanwhile, the pro-democracy group has called on the Liberian Senate to immediately proceed with the confirmation of Judge Siane Clinton Johnson as she is best suited for the post, while disclosing that the nominee, if confirmed, will be the third female on the Supreme Court bench. The Center for National Documents and Records Agency says it has raised $134,000 United States dollars in the past 6 months. CND Director General Nelson Bianga revealed that the money generated from January to June 2024 is used to fund the national fiscal budget, which supports the Liberian government. He stated that the administration called wasteful spending to raise money. Regarding the budget projection, The National Archives needs to provide 341,000 towards the national budget for 2024. According to DG Bienga, the CNDRA needs to raise 207,000 United States dollars in the following 6 months from July to December 2024. He said the team he is working with and the policies they have developed will enable them to raise the remaining amount in the next 6 months. Nelson Bienga, however, declared that the Archives Center would no longer offer granted services in order to enable the organization to make money. Speaking Tuesday in Monrovia, the National Archives boss revealed that some people were taking advantage of the granted services to their own detriment, which prevented the government from receiving the necessary funding. Agriculture Minister Dr. Alexander Newton has underscored the need to empower policymakers on responsible investment in the agriculture sector of Liberia. Minister Newton said, before agriculture investments are done, the concept is to make it responsible. He said to have responsible agriculture investment, those who appraise it have to ensure it meets all the criteria that gives it the responsible nature. Minister Alexander Newton was speaking at a two-day forum aimed to provide technical trainings for responsible investment appraiser within Liberia's agriculture sector held in Makibi County. Dr. Newton described the initiative as cardinal to the national agriculture plan of the country. The Responsible Agriculture Investments Appraiser training is being held under the auspices of the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization's Liberia office. In remarks, FAO country's representative, Bintia Stephen Chikaya said policymakers benefiting from the training will be responsible to ensure that those seeking investment in Liberia's agriculture sector will comply with the term of agreement and to accept corrective measures. The president of the Lacose's College of Education, Dr. Benchimaway, has called for increment in the salaries of civil servants, especially teachers. Dr. Way said this is one of the best ways to improve the lives of the ordinary people. He decried the arbitrary deductions in the salaries of teachers during each salary payment, calling on the president to intervene. Dr. Wei also commended the Minister of Education for her unwavering commitment to ending the issue of volunteer teachers across the country. The Lacose's president, however, called for the full implementation of the Education Reform Act of 2011, particularly focusing on the decentralization of educational activities to the counties and districts. Dr. Benjamin Way spoke at the 8th Certificate and 5th Associate of Arts degree program of the Bond County Annex of the Lacose's College of Education. For his part, Dr. Randy Nelson, former Director of International Programs at University of Sioux Falls in the USA, acknowledged the passion and greatness of Liberians in the education and emphasized the need for capacity development. The president of the Liberian Institute of Certified Public Accountants has called for increased budgetary support to adequately fund the institution's activities. Papin Daniels said, although the government is providing subsidy to LCPA, the amount is insufficient to finance its programs, including their professional exams. His statement followed complaints from candidates who sat the Ghanaian Professional Qualification Certificate exams over the weekend seeking to become chartered accountants and certified public accountants in a twin partnership agreement with the LRCPA in Accra, AG. The new LRCPA president, however, lauded the candidates for mustering the courage to set the exam despite the enormous challenges, including lack of funding to provide tutorials for them before the test. Meanwhile, the examiner from the Institute of Chartered Accountants, Ghana, Naomi Bawodi, wants the Liberian government to make the professional exams compulsory for accountants in the country. Ms. Baudi said, if government makes it mandatory that people without these professional certificates cannot get certain financial management positions in the country, it will compel them to set the exams, urging the LRCPA to make the exams attractive to encourage more people to write. If you're just joining us, this is a reminder that you are listening to a bulletin of news coming to you from the News and Current Affairs Department here at the Renaissance Communications Incorporated. And this news program is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited. In more news, the board of directors of the Faith and Justice Network is demanding an open apology from Representative Francis Foko for threatening to burn the chambers of the legislature. FJN expressed serious concern about Montserrat County District Number 9 Representative's recent action, demanding him to immediately retract such statement and issued a public apology to the Liberian people. Faith and Justice Network Liberia's executive director, Topot Jala, said the network believes that public servants, particularly elected officials, must conduct themselves with the highest standards of integrity, responsibility, and respect for the institutions they serve. According to Reverend Injala, the district number 9 lawmakers' threat not only jeopardized the safety and security of the legislature, but also wear away public trust in the legislative process, adding, Representative Foucault has set a dangerous precedent. Away from Liberia, Uganda is backing M23 rebels fighting across its border in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. UN experts say, warning that a rapidly escalating crisis carried the risk of triggering a wider regional conflict. The well-armed M23 is often accused of being a Rwandan proxy force, but the UN experts have put forward evidence to suggest that it also has Uganda's support. Uganda has denied the allegations in the UN report that also accuses Rwanda of having up to 4,000 troops in DR Congo fighting alongside the rebels. In response, Rwanda did not deny the allegation and told the BBC the DR Congo government lacked the political will to resolve the crisis in its mineral-rich east, which has witnessed decades of unrest. To end this news program, a recap of the top stories. The National Civil Society Union of Liberia has welcomed the nomination of Criminal Court Judge Siane Clinton Johnson as Associate Justice of the Supreme Court of Liberia. The Center for National Documents and Records Agency says it has raised $134,000 United States dollars in the past 6 months. Agriculture Minister Dr. Alexander Newton has underscored the need to empower policymakers on responsible investment in the agriculture sector of Liberia. And away from Liberia, the BBC says Uganda is backing M23 rebels fighting across its border in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. UN experts say, warning that a rapidly escalating crisis carried the risk of triggering a wider regional conflict. That's RCA News Bulletin at 7. My name is Olivia Baum. Good evening.
Ria TV, True FM.
Okay, Ria TV, True FM.
On Ria TV.
Into Truth FM 96.1.
What's the meaning of the black barrier?
The black barrier is to tell Joseph Bakala, if you don't organize yourself in your grateful manner, we'll keep your plate alive.
You might say what you want to say, but for us, we are here to make sure we build our country, that we are respected. We have donors that are coming because of the confidence.
News Summary of 12. My name is Hansen, their representative. Welcome to News and Analysis 30 minutes of news presentation about Liberia, Africa, and our one world.
Presenting this newscast is proudly sponsored by Orange Liberia and EcoBank Liberia Limited.
How is life after the presidency?
But before the presidency, the same life that what you see. I live a different life. You know, when I was not president, this life that what I live, you know, with my family and how to call it.
I have a lot of interest in the health sector, the educational sector, and the agriculture sector. Both connecting those systems.
Yeah, we are calling international community to come to intervene for us because, like I just stated previously, we don't know who to trust.
Always make sure to turn on to our
Via TV and listening to Truth FM 96.1.
Starting today, why not have a little more fun? Why not use money this easily? Why not get even closer to family? Why not work how you've always wanted? Fun, money, family, work. No network keeps you connected to it all, quite like Orange. It's all about what matters to you.